Penguindrum is quite an experience. I decided to watch it after I found a few pictures of these cute penguins and I wanted to try the show out. I had no idea what I was in for, nor did I know much about the director behind it. And I'll be honest, watching this show made me feel very confused, and I'm pretty sure others felt this way too. The show is actually quite underappreciated, and I can understand why people fail to see the actual well-told story behind it, since it's presented in a very different way. I had to read a few analysis myself after watching Mawaru Penguindrum, and my reaction was, "Oh, I see what you did there." The story is about three siblings who are going about their daily lives. It reveals to us that their sister Himari is terminally ill and that she will die soon. Shoma and Kanba decided to take the sister to the aquarium so that she can have fun and live her life to the fullest. But they didn't expect her to die sooner than they expected. Her body collapses and is taken to the hospital where her heart is brought to a complete stop. As the two brothers mourn over her death, suddenly Himari's fate was temporarily reversed by a penguin hat that they obtained at the aquarium. When Himari wears this hat, the princess of the crystal possesses her and tells the brothers to obtain the Penguindrum. And throughout the story, we watch how these brothers struggle to keep their sister alive as secrets behind the characters begin to slowly unfold. Given the premise, you expect something to be weirdly generic. Weird can be correct when describing this show, since weird is a subjective thing, but this show is far from generic and is probably one of the most unexpected things you'll experience. Now, the story is presented in such a complex way, given the fact that Ikuhara Kunihiko wrote this and was in charge of how the series will play out, aka he's the director. Instead of being obvious, he uses a fuck ton of symbolism and metaphors. The series does come off as goofy and light-hearted. You would notice that the show acknowledges how goofy it seems. It's generally entertaining watching the comedy taking place, but behind all that, the series is more darker than you would imagine it would be. There is actually a lot more happening rather than being shown on screen or spoken about. A lot of the events and dialogue do come off as unnatural, and also the story is often mistaken for plot holes since it feels disjointed. But this was all intentional. You may think that the events feel disconnected and the dialogue doesn't represent what a real human would say. The repetitive sequence that plays out has a lot of themes covered behind it. It's not there to just get you dancing. This is because the show is trying to convey a message towards its audience. It uses a lot of coincidences so that certain events can play out, but the events serve a great meaning and purpose. It doesn't want to be realistic and wants to feel very fairy tale-like. The whole story is meant to be surreal. The same can be said about the dialogue. Yes, it feels unnatural and awkward, but the things that the characters say are very symbolic and carry out a huge important message for the real story behind it. And what makes the dialogue so damn good is how each of these characters present it in their own unique style, and damn do they have a lot of style. But I'll touch on that subject later. Mawaru Penguindrum breaks a lot of rules, and it breaks it in the most glorious way as possible with its fantastic storytelling. A lot of people may think that Penguindrum comes off as pretentious, and this is where it is safe to say that I highly disagree. Do you even know what pretentious is? Pretentious is something that tries to express a subject in a very difficult and complex way, but has little to no meaning behind it because the writer doesn't really have anything to say. Or in other words, someone trying to sound intelligent despite not knowing what they're talking about. Kara no Kyokai is a good representation of pretentious because of its badly written dialogue. A lot of the things that they say do not make sense, nor does it have a real meaning, but because people don't understand what they're talking about, they think that the writers are smart. They're not. But people still fell for their bullshit, so congratulations.
Congratulations! Congratulations! Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations! Congratulations!
Congratulations.
Congratulations!
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 Mawaru Penguindrum uses both visual symbolism and dialogue and tying the themes so perfectly together. And yes, the important aspect of the show are definitely the themes and is such an important aspect of the show. Some of the themes they explore are sexuality, religion, rebirth, fate, destiny, and death. I'll try to be as vague as possible when explaining one of the real meanings behind this show. Take these cute adorable penguins for example. They are treated as mascots throughout the whole series and people can easily realize that each of them share similar traits towards their respective owners. But think to yourself, why do these penguins represent these characters so much? What purpose do they serve? Why must it be penguins? Why does number 2 eat so much? Little hint. Survival strategy. But I don't expect you to understand right away, and yes, this is why dialogue and symbolism is so damn important. It requires you to pay a lot of attention, because they do foreshadow a lot of things well. The characters are very well written, they feel mysterious and serve a great role in the plot. The meaning and reason behind their actions are justified. Yes, character motivations can be a bit over the top, but their actions and motivations are treated in a symbolic way, but it's something that can be easily looked over once you get to know them better. Did I mention that there is a lot of characterization? Because there is a lot of it. The show doesn't start off slow for no reason. I found myself getting attached to these characters and ended up liking the ones I previously disliked. I mentioned how each of them having style to them, and it's one of the reasons why these characters are so lovable. The characters have their own perspectives on different things, and the way they talk is very unique. Despite sounding unnatural, these characters have their own way of communicating. They have a certain dialogue that they like to repeat. It's not because the show thinks you're stupid to forget, but the things they say represent who they are, and the choice of sentences that they use symbolizes a lot of the meaning behind what is being shown on screen. The interactions between these characters are really fun and interesting to watch. Due to how different they are, I found the scenes played out to be quite entertaining. What makes it even better is how each and every one of these voice actors fits so well with these characters. They really know how to portray their character really well and hit their mark with the accents, emotional state, and voice. This gives each and every one of these characters their own sense of identity. The voice actors give them such unique voices and it's just screaming talent in my ears. The animation is brilliantly done. I could not ask for more from Brainbase, the studio that animated this show. Even though it may not look like it, but there is a lot of work being put into each scene. You'll see a lot of visual metaphors and symbolism presented a lot. The choice of colors that they use in each scene not only helps it, but sets the atmosphere of the show very well. A lot of the imagery feels very surreal and damn is it interesting to look at. There is a lot of quality in it. You'll see a lot of repeated symbols over and over again. I guess this is a subjective thing, but I didn't find myself to be tired of it. I think it's the fact that they are presented in different ways most of the time. I'm happy to say that Mawaru Penguindrum received the animation it deserves. Oh, the soundtrack, I personally love it. You're going to notice that the series has a few originally composed music that they like to repeat, but there is a lot of variations to it. Yukari Hashimoto is someone I want to see more who composes these soundtracks, because they sound really good. I really like the use of J-pop that they used during the repeated survival strategy sequence. It was so catchy and didn't come off as obnoxiously annoying. The music really sets the tone of the atmosphere very well, and it can also give you a mixed bag of emotions. It's also the sort of soundtrack that you would find in just that one show. Nothing about it sounds generic and gives Mawaru Penguindrum its own flavor. Mawaru Penguindrum is a beautifully crafted story and is nothing short of a masterpiece. After understanding what the series was about, I find myself to be looking up to Ikuhara, and now, he is my favorite director of all time. He doesn't need to make an anime every year, and because of this, he has time to create something so special, meaning he's not a cash-grabbing dickhead. I can't recommend this show for everyone. People are just going to drop it and think it's weird or confusing. I don't blame them. I felt like dropping it before. The series is very difficult to understand and they don't hold back on what they present to you. But if you give this show a chance, you will be doing yourself a favor, because this is one of the best stories I have seen in anime. Be aware that there is going to be a lot to take in. I give Mawaru Penguindrum a well-deserved 9.5 out of 10. The amount of talent shown in one series is absolutely crazy. Ikuhara, I fucking bow down to you. And fuck you, General Bucci! Fuck you! Oh! Also, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I make both anime reviews and parodies. Also, I suggest following me on Hummingbird if you want me to keep you updated on what I'm working on. I hope you enjoyed that review, and I hope that you'll come back for more. This has been Sushi Babe, and I would like to say goodbye. Goodbye!